Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Witcher reaction video. Alright, so today I'm going to be watching episode 6, continuing on where we left off. I'm dealing with quite a bit of pain and my jaw has been popping out repeatedly over the last few days again. So I'm sorry guys, you'll have to excuse me if I don't talk a ton. I'm going to do my best here with what we've got, especially since with the election and everything and me having kind of a really bad flare-up recently, I haven't been able to do a ton of recording, but we're gonna go for it. So I had talked quite a bit at the end of the last episode about some of the things I wasn't fully on board with and didn't seem like quite as fulfilled, especially in the relationship with Geralt and Yennefer as maybe they were supposed to be. But I still enjoyed the episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing where else this storyline goes. And I was pleased with some of the stuff involving Ciri's storyline last episode too, so I'm curious to see how that develops, which for me was good because up until last episode, her storyline was definitely the least interesting to me, so I'm glad to be getting like more into and on board with that. So, all right, let's get into it. Episode 6 of The Witcher. Here we go.
Oh.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Thank you so much. It's been very nice. Thank you for the wine and the pies. But as the man said, Geralt, shall we?
I'm in.
Yes, Kira's like, God damn it. God damn it.
The law of surprise can be claimed to pay that debt.
Who did Geralt save?
Your father. Dooney.
He's got to try to be less exasperated sounding.
It's your destiny.
Why hasn't he found
Like,
it yet?
try to believe a little more, sir. If you want to be believable yourself.
We'll be together soon. Exactly as your grandmother wished. Make haste, children.
Children in that tone.
Ooh, we're all about to have new evil overlords, and dragons are, in fact, a thing. All around. Oh, well, you've all seen a dragon before, have you? Geralt, will you please tell them?
Their numbers are dwindling. Treasure seekers sort of that. But they do exist. What people call green dragons, like the one we have here. They're the most common. Red dragons less so. Black
Dragons.
dragons are the rarest.
Gold dragons are rarest.
Gold dragons are a myth. For a gold dragon to exist, it would have to be the result of an accidental, unique mutation. And in my experience, mutations, they're intentional. But it doesn't matter. Mutant or myth, gold dragons met the same fate as anything too different to endure. They died out.
There are other ways of enduring. If it's legacy you're after, perhaps you should take the overgrown cockhair's advice and become a knight. So Witcher, the white-haired.
There are certain healing properties his roots possess.
Oh, this is about the...
I thought your transformation healed all parts of you.
At the cost of losing others, yes.
Yennefer, do not tell me you've traveled all this way for made-up fertility cures using fresh dragon hearts.
They're not made up.
They are. And seriously, you, a mother,
Do you think that'd make a bad one?
definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you should say that to her, man. But, yeah.
A child? What could you possibly want with a
They
child?
took my choice. I want it back. Not that I'd expect you to understand.
I didn't choose to become a witcher.
Except you have arthritis. You hate the cold.
Mm.
You always said Skellig was where you came from, but Citra was your home with us.
I've had enough of you.
So stop.
Our name is not Mousesack.
Mm.
Killed Mousesack and took his disgusting form to find you.
Is it because it's Elvish?
I prefer it like this anyway.
That's what he really looks like? Ugh.
Where are you taking us? Who wants him?
The man with the winged helmet.
Why is he going to so much trouble?
I'm special. I don't know how or why, but there's something inside me. Kill him.
What?
Then I'll do it.
Wait, no.
Good job.
Get back!
So, Witcher, you will save us yet. But first, you must let go.
No.
Geralt! The planks won't hold!
Thank you.
I was afraid that mountain would take you from me. But now I fear it took your senses instead.
Only my nonsense.
I quite like your nonsense.
Scent. The moment I dread most every time you leave. It's when it fades.
Oh, so it's been a while.
Gone.
And they've seen each other a bunch more times.
He's dead.
She's dead.
Wait. Is that...
So, Witcher and his sorceress.
It is? What? He's a dragon? He's a gold dragon?
Impossible.
When the dragoness was injured, her cry was heard by Villain Threatenworth.
But the egg could not be moved, or the life inside it would die.
That's why the dragon attacked.
She was protecting her baby.
And then we heard about the king's hunt. Realized we had to keep our enemies close.
So I came to find you, the white-haired Witcher. The knight who was taught to save dragons instead of kill them.
Inrind. The Jinn.
That's why we can't escape each other. Why I feel this way inside.
Oh, God.
It's not because of anything real or true.
No.
You made a wish. It's magic.
It's real, Yen.
How could we ever know?
Tornado. Wreaking havoc. And for what? So you can have a baby? A child is no way to boost your fragile ego, Yen.
I'll take advice from you about children as soon as you take responsibility for the one you bound to you and then abandoned.
That's enough. I'm going to save you both a lot of hurt with a little pain now. The sorceress will never regain her womb. Though you didn't want to lose her, Geralt, you will.
He already has.
What you're missing is still out there. Your legacy. Your destiny.
Ciri.
I know it. And you know it.
The prize, the gin, all of it. If life could give me one blessing, it would be to take you off my hands.
Oh, come on, Geralt.
Right then.
Poor Jaskier.
I'll go get the rest of the story from the others. See you around, Carol.
All right, guys. Well, that was episode 6, and you know, as I said, I'm not going to talk very much because of my jaw situation, so I'm going to keep this short, simple, and sweet if I can. But I'll just start off. I don't know, that episode got me pretty emotional a few times, like a lot more than I was anticipating or that I've had yet any sort of similar experience in this series. So that's quite it was a surprise for me, but in a really good way, just highlighting that I guess how some of these characters really have kind of worked their way into my heart here when I was not fully aware of it. Okay, so all the dragon stuff was really cool. And that was one of the things that really got me, honestly, with the mother dragon being dead, and then the gold dragon of coming all that way and going through that process to get the Witcher on his side to help save the egg, and then even the effect that had on Yennefer, because she could kind of relate to that situation and what the dragons were trying to do. And the guy that was playing him, he did such a good job, and I think just had such an impact on Geralt and all of them. I mean, the scene when he and his companions kind of fall into the abyss, and like just the horror on all of their faces, it just that's what I was starting to get kind of worked up here. So so then the big thing in this episode was Geralt and Yennefer, but before I really get to that, just quickly to comment on the Ciri stuff. Again, I thoroughly have been enjoying Ciri's storyline the past couple of episodes, and all the doppelganger stuff has been fascinating to watch. And then of course we finally see her having to have some interaction with her pursuer, and he's trying to come across, you know, as oh, well, I would never actually hurt you, you're so important, and then still giving all these cryptic hints about her significance to the white flame, whatever that may prove to be. But then of course she is able to get herself out of that situation partially as a consequence of the doppelganger and him coming to blows and coming into conflict with each other. But yeah, so we still don't really fully know what exactly it is that Ciri is and why she's so significant, but, you know, clearly he's invested not just in catching her, but in trying to put forward the idea that, like, he wants to have a positive relationship here. He's not trying to just make her into a prisoner, so to speak. Like, there's something that they want from her, that there's a sense of her being significant to their goals. And then you see also, even in the dragon hunt, all of the companions talking about, and of course this is earlier in time, but talking about Nilfgaard's kind of growth under the rightful heir, and then that's kind of showing what that's going to lead to later on. And the actor who plays Melsick, I think he did a really good job, because then he also did a good job of embodying the kind of doppelganger in terms of his movements and his language and his actions, children, the way that he spoke and everything. So I'm sad to see him go, but glad that Siri was able to figure out the truth eventually. And Dara as well. Also, you know, if he's gone, sad to see him go, but he may have been being harsh with Siri, but he was also kind of right. You know, she keeps getting herself into these situations where if he stays with her, he's just gonna get himself killed. And part of it is through her own, like, refusal to listen or think things through. Like, he had the doppelganger pinned down and was able to hopefully get some information out of him. He was not able to move and everything, and she just was like, kill him now. And he was like, wait, what? And because she couldn't wait for a second to talk about it, she tries to grab the blade out of his hand, and that gives him the chance to escape and hurt them more. So I can see why he left. I was saying in the last episode he shouldn't even go with her, so. And then, of course, like I said, the big thing this episode was the Geralt and Yennefer relationship, which I'm really happy with how much they focused on it this episode, and not just like the sexual aspect, but the conversations they were having, even in quieter moments, and in discussing, you know, the things that kind of haunt them the most, being her desire to have a child, partially coming out of her desire to just have control and not have an option taken away from her, and then his kind of guilt and uncertainty over the child's surprise just hanging over his head, and even at the end that coming back is, you know that's your destiny, you just don't want to face it or admit it. And even Yennefer saying that to him, that, you know, you can't really give me advice about children until you take responsibility for the one that you chose to bind yourself to and then just turned your back on and ran away from. So they're talking to each other about these things, and then also about just the kind of, I guess, the lack of intimacy maybe both of them have had in their lives, and you can see that coming out in the kind of vulnerability in the moments, even when they're talking and laying in bed together. And I just think that with last episode, as unconvinced as I was about the connection between them, this episode really sold me on it quite a bit. They did a much better job, and just a really good job building it up here and showing the connection between them, which is why it was so devastating. And I actually got choked up at the end there, where Geralt is revealing that whatever it was that he wished with the djinn was to save her life, somehow she now thinks it bound them together, and maybe what she feels isn't real. And, you know, it's clear that for her, she's always mistrusting of her own feelings and mistrusting of relationships and other people's feelings towards her anyway. So she kind of was just always looking for that justification for, oh, it's not real, to run away. And now here she has it. And so then, you know, Geralt is kind of desperately trying to say, no, it doesn't matter what I wish there. I had to wish that to save your life. And, you know, maybe he only would have wished that in the first place if he did genuinely feel something for her, right? But the justifications aren't doing anything. And so then he just basically says to them, you're never going to get your fertility back and have the chance to have a child, and you're going to lose her. And that's it. And that just the heartbreakingness of that moment, because he does seem to just know things about the future, about the past, he just has this magical insight. He's a gold dragon somehow, I guess, gives him that power. But and then Geralt, just the way he was with Jaskier, that was just cruel. And I get that he was heartbroken and just overwhelmed in that moment, but then he turns around and takes it out on the one, you know, reliable friend that he's had for apparently decades now, is what the course of their relationship on the show, I guess, has been, and just drives him away too. And it's just, it was just a really just sad, emotional episode with all of that. But I really did think that this was a very good episode. They did a very good job with all of the relationship building. And I'm curious to see, again, where we're going to go from here. So I'm assuming at some point, eventually, we have to get Ciri and Geralt coming into each other's orbit. But now that we're coming down to just a couple episodes left, I'm wondering if they're going to leave that for the last episode. I think that would probably make sense. So, and then we'll continue to see just kind of the build up to that, and everything that's happening with Nilfgaard. And so, but all right, I'm gonna wrap this up here, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.